Let's get into it, Coach Colin here. We got a very unhinged clip from Bill Maher's podcast. Very, very interesting, man. This guy makes Bill Maher look like a hard-nosed Republican. But what this really does is it highlights the mindset. You ever wonder why? How could 14 million people be okay with their votes being thrown away and Kamala Harris just being installed right in front of their eyes? How could you possibly be okay with that happening? You voted for one guy because he was saying these things and you knew where he stood, or, you know, most of the time, Biden, right? He's napping most of the time. But still, you understood that when he was napping, he was having great dreams of this weird leftist America that you, for some reason, are co-signing, right? And then all of a sudden, they just say, oh, yeah, he's gone, and now she's in. And you think to yourself, how did all these people just switch on a dime? They just threw their Biden-Harris signs away, grabbed Kamala Walsh signs, and just started cheering the exact same way. Well, this is going to show you the mindset. This is the mindset that is actually making these people do what they're doing right now. This is Quentin Tarantino sitting down with Bill Maher. I have to say, this clip to me is rather disgusting. And on this channel, I never have to bleep out swear words. Never. That's usually what I got to do on my Rogan channel. But this guy is just unhinged. Here we go.
Bigger issue is the left and their ability or their desire to engage with anyone who's not already in the bubble. And they get a big fat D- on that.
I couldn't agree more.
Right. I mean, you see Kamala. I mean, I'm glad she's doing well. I'm glad we have a real fight now for president. But doesn't talk to the press. You know, would never go near me. And when you won't go near the people who are going to vote for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote for you. Do I have to love everything? No, I don't. It just shows they're afraid. And you're right. I see it so much.
Well, hold on. I don't. Okay, you know what? I don't see her. Well, there's no reason for her to go on your show before the election, but I can actually see her.
Yes, there is, because I speak to the exact voter she needs, the person who is in the middle, the person who is not ideologically captured by either side. Now, there are some who watch who are that, and everyone is welcome. I need a bigger audience all the time. I'm greedy that way. But basically, that's exactly the audience she needs. The MSNBC crowd is already voting for her. People who watch me, who will decide, this election will probably be decided in like 4 states by something like 80,000 votes in each. That's how these elections, how close they are these days. And that's where we're back to. We're at least back to normal, which sucked, but it is normal that it's 50-50 going into the election. With Biden, it wouldn't have been.
Let me ask you about this, though. Okay, look, there's nothing you said that isn't right, all right? And there's definitely nothing you said that isn't right in a normal election cycle. I mean, it's irrefutably right in a normal election cycle where you have a year to set your case. I think there's just all about winning the fucking election, all right? And then the easiest path to winning the election, look, you can talk about maybe she should have had more guts about this or that and the other, but we're the fucking president.
Right.
And Trump's not the president, and we're the fucking president, and now it's going to be about this. But this is about fucking winning. What most people don't give the Democrats enough credit for, all right, but we give the Republicans credit for. It's like, no, sometimes it's just about fucking winning. And it doesn't matter how we look at this moment. It's about fucking winning.
Right.
This is about fucking winning.
Yep. No, it is.
It's a mad fucking dash, and she is running, and she's not stopping to stumble.
And you know what?
And there's nothing wrong with stopping this. I'm going to vote for her fucking anyway, no matter what she says in a stupid fucking interview.
Exactly.
So don't get up.
Let me tell you something right now, okay? Quentin Tarantino, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very notice what he said We're the president. You know, I don't even get religious and talk about the part of the Bible that talks about the demons saying we, and they establish themselves as they, them, and we are legion and all that stuff. I won't even go there. But when he says, although you could, there's an argument for it. When he says we're the president, that's the mindset. We're the president. That's it. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if she's marching us towards socialism. It doesn't matter if she's marching us towards communism. It doesn't matter if she's marching us towards right-wing authoritarianism. I don't care, as long as we're the president and Trump's not the president. That is such a destructive mindset. And I don't mean destructive to a person. Well, to their lives, because, you know, if they're willing to see things that way, they'll vote in anybody. You know, Joy Reid famously said, I'll vote for a corpse. I don't care. It's like, what? What are you saying? I'll vote for a corpse, and whoever's running things in the background, fine. I don't care, as long as it's not Trump. It's like, that's bad. You're saying a very crazy thing right now. That means you'd vote for Putin? Is that what you're saying? Anybody? Doesn't matter? Okay. That's Joy Reid, of course. Oddly, Quentin Tarantino, more unhinged than Joy Reid, even on her best day. On her best day with her finest Trump wig on, he is more unhinged. We're the president, and it doesn't matter how we look. Now, here's the thing. I'll go another layer as well. It doesn't even sound like he's talking. There's hints of it where it doesn't even sound like he's talking as a Democrat. Now, do you remember George Carlin? If you're too young to know about George Carlin, if you're just not up on him and what he's done in comedy, he had this one quote where he would say, "It's a big club and you ain't in it." That's what he would say. It's a big club and you ain't in it. He'd say that. It's one of, in my opinion, one of his biggest quotes, because it just rings so true just throughout time. He said it years and years ago. It still rings just as true today. It sounds more like he is talking about a big club or a small club of people when he says, we will be the president. It doesn't matter how we look. It's only about winning. It's only about Trump not being president. That, in my opinion, is kind of scary. You know, we always have the theory of a shadow government. It exposes itself more now as Biden is clearly not competent enough to be doing the everyday workings of being a president. But when you have a guy like this ranting and raving, making Bill Maher seem like he's like a Republican. Bill Maher seems very well measured in comparison to what he's doing, to what Quentin Tarantino is doing. When you hear that, man, it really, it makes me go there. It makes me put my tinfoil Speedo on and just jump into the water and just go deep. It's like, who's we, bro? Who's we? Because you got to think about it, right? Quentin Tarantino's a millionaire dozens of times over, right? So what does it even matter to, again, what does it even matter who's the president for him? It doesn't. It doesn't. If you have $100 million, who the president is in America doesn't actually matter all that much. It does matter because who knows what they'll be marching you into. But in terms of tax cuts and housing and all of this stuff, none of those topics really concern you at all. You're always going to be able to get a house. You're always going to be able to pay it off right away if you want to. You're always going to be able to buy food. You're never going to have to think about what it costs to buy food or go to a restaurant or fill up gas or anything like that. Why is he so dead set on it? All it matters is that we effing win. Effing winning is the only thing. We're the president. That's all that matters. Trump's not the president. It kind of shows how scared these elites are of Trump being president. You know? It always makes me wonder, like, what happens behind the scenes? Why is he, you know, we could go the blackmail route. There's so many different things that you can conjure up in your head. But why does he care so much? You know? And then he cares so much that the person that he wants to vote for and the person he's so concerned with winning is someone who's quoting Karl Marx. Their father was a Marxist. Their father was a Marxist. Confirmed Marxist. I was actually reading one of his books. He talks about Marx all the time. I just typed in, it was a PDF. I typed in Marx on Find. You do Control F, and then you type in a word, and it'll just bring up that word. I just wrote in Marx. He says it like 500 times. I'm like, oh, this is his work is centered around Karl Marx. That's her father. She's quoting Marx. She's talking about price controls. She's talking about all of the things that Karl Marx said he needs to have happen in order for a new system, and we all know what system he was advocating for more than anything. It was communism. And that's the person who Quentin Tarantino wants to see in office. Huh. Very interesting. I'm sorry if I ruined Quentin for you, ladies and gentlemen, but he sucks. I have to say, he does suck. Movies are great, but him as a person absolutely sucks. This is very un-American, what he's saying right now. Very, very un-American. He does not care if this person's going to do right by the people. He does not care if this person's going to stop the wars that are going on and marching everybody closer to World War III. He doesn't care about anything like that. All he cares is that Trump is not president. And that's that little part that connects back to a lot of Democrats today. They don't care if the person's bad, or if the person's incompetent, or if the person, has no business being president. They don't care at all, as long as it's not Trump. And the sad thing is, this is not going to stop when Vivek's running. They're going to be like, anybody but Vivek. It's not going to stop if Tulsi ends up running. Anybody but Tulsi. That mindset is just going to keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. I think there's a lot of Republicans, if they didn't do what they did to RFK, I think there's a lot of Republicans where if it turned out RFK was winning and he was versus Trump or versus Vivek or however it ends up happening 2028, it can't be Trump, but I think there's a lot of Republicans that would be like, okay. I don't think they would have the mindset of anybody but RFK. Anybody but RFK. We got to be the president. We have to effing win. I think there's a lot of, and when I say Republicans, I don't mean congressmen and senators. I mean, regular people that would be okay with it. They'd be like, all right. But as soon as you bring it the other way around, these people on the left have this weird mindset, this derangement. And again, I don't think it's going to wear off with Trump. I think that's just how far they've been pushed in regards to the psychosis that's put upon them by the media, because that's truly what is happening to them via the media. If they listen enough, they take it in enough, that's what ends up happening. Sad, but true. Anyways, guys, just wanted to show you that little clip. I found it disgusting. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say, I found it very interesting. I found it disgusting. I was like, this is so gross. What a gross person. I was never going to watch this interview, but now that I see this, I want to touch on this interview and just watch it, but it's 2 hours long, and Bill Maher, it said part 1. So there's like another part that's going to be like an hour long. I'm like, oh my God, not into this at all, but I'll watch it for you guys. I'll try. If I can get something that's like triple speed, I'll go ahead and watch it on triple speed and just bang through that thing. Hopefully none of it rubs off on me. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, helps the channel tremendously. Other than that, I'm out.